Usthelight, and this is my first podcast episode officially. I am an individual that would rather stay unknown for the time being. I'm just hiding behind this beautiful name. Usthelight is something that I've dreamt about creating. I am very passionate about all the things that are related to self-development and self-improvement, and just talking about those things really makes me so happy and empowered, and I love to share all of that kind of information. If you don't know anything about me, this is just gonna be an introduction about me and what I do. For the time being, I am an average worker. I am doing my self work. I'm putting in the work, as you say. I try to pursue a growth mindset and just go for that with no limitations, nothing to regret, and so on. And yeah, this year has definitely been a point of sit back and just reflect on all the values that I've been building over the years, and the values that I haven't been building but that were subconsciously just there by default. And so it's important to speak about this, because a lot of people don't know about their belief systems until they have some kind of shock or a trauma, and then all of these cues just come out, and they just find it that it's so hard to cope with anything, and then they face anxiety, and then I just want to die, I don't want to do anything, this life sucks, what am I supposed to do? And you can easily go into that mindset of victimhood, and just I have been there at some certain points in my life where I thought, well, guess what, there's no light at the end of the tunnel, as they said. I think my new saying would be, once you don't say that there is a tunnel, then there is no end to the tunnel. So if we say that I'm waiting for this tunnel to end, why is there a tunnel from the beginning? Because it all started from a perception. So if you can see things differently, everything's going to be different. Everything's going to be easier. So I'm not saying that this is easily achieved, and I'm not saying that this is something that you can work on and it's just gonna be swoop and it's just gonna work out for you like in one day or two. This takes time. This takes real work and digging, and it's tiring, and it's emotionally consuming, and you gotta stay strong in order to do this. But I have been happily doing this for the past year or so, and by this I mean actively putting in the work into myself, and not dropping everything for others and say, oh hey, people, if you want to fix me, go ahead, do it. Just not gonna do anything anymore. Obviously, if you don't stop that loop from continuously going and going and going, no one's gonna shut that hard drive. No one's gonna stop that record. It's gonna keep on going. You're gonna keep on suffering, and the longest that record go, the more you just are going into that deep swamp, and everything just gets deepened and worsened. So what I found that over the past year, I found that I've been living on default. Now, living on default means that you are just going around day by day, not having any mindset whatsoever to control the flow of your life, or to to be the actor of your life. So if someone comes to you and they suffer and they have something bad, you're just gonna be swamped by that. Or if someone complains to you, it's just gonna become the highlight of your day because you're so swamped in this negativity. And the last thing you want to hear is someone's cry. So when you hear someone's cry, it's just a trigger for a lot of other cries of yours. And then you think that the world is bad, everything is bad. And obviously, there's social media, which I consider, yes, that's good. You want to do that, you want to pursue that, you're making your income out of it. Go, you do you, that's nice. But when it becomes toxic, when it becomes something that you start comparing yourself to others and you start thinking that you're not enough, and you start seeing all of these negative signals that are coming from the outside and that are affecting the quality of your day, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, so I just feel like crap right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel like crap. I don't want to do anything. I'm demotivated. The world is a bad place. Whilst, so you're saying this whilst other people living in the same world are succeeding, are doing whatever they can to go around their days. So it's a story of perspective. Once you switch perspective from that victimhood kind of mindset, you can start to see the light. You can start to see that, okay, I actually have I have something to give right here. I am the actor. I am not just a puppet that's being moved by some external circumstances. I am the player. I am the player and I am the game at the same time, because whatever move you make on your chessboard is going to show on your field, because your field is where you play. So that is something that I've learned over the past year. So I've learned to take responsibility. That is step one. So if you want to get out of the swamp, you're sick and tired of just being there all the time, fear no more. I got step one for you. Yo, step one, take responsibility. If you don't, it's gonna keep on coming, dragging you down, and you're just not gonna feel good about yourself. And that stuff also affects you physically. So the mental part is also hard, but the physical part, when it starts manifesting, that is degrading your health, is degenerating yourself, and also is preparing you for a short life. Because what happens is, when you're unhappy, your body's just shutting down. Your body doesn't want to be living in unhappiness. So of course your system will shut down, your immunity is going to be wrecked and out of whack, your metabolism, your everything is going to be out of whack. So by fixing just this kind of belief systems, by fixing them and by working on yourself, by taking the responsibility, that's step one, you're going to see a lot of things coming through. So that's my first step. Then the second step that I would like to highlight, once you take this responsibility, you have this meeting, or I don't know what you call these times with yourself when you sit down, or let's just call them a sit down with yourself, where you just discuss, okay, so here's this and this and that. It has been like this and this and that. So now I decide I'm willingly, intentionally taking back the control of my life and doing things that I can improve, and taking myself back up again. So once this step is done, then comes the second step, which is watching. What I mean by watching is you start noticing yourself. You are the therapist of yourself. You are the one that is guiding. You just check up with yourself like every day. So I would watch my behaviors really closely. What I mean by this is that if I'm with people, am I really with people? Do I really think about what is being, like, am I there physically and mindfully, or just being there as a physical person and my mind is elsewhere. And what I found is that a lot of those things that, like a small talk or just like running by an old friend or something, I'm just anxious all the time, and I find it so much like that I keep thinking about other things and I'm not constantly like enjoying the moment. So I've noticed this pattern going on, and it makes me not really enjoying the moment as it comes and happens. And so if you have this issue, and what I found useful was doing some mindfulness practice. Yes, mindfulness is such a strong tool. And what I found also useful was whenever I felt sad for no reason or I just felt agitated by someone else's action, I didn't really punish myself. I just acknowledged that, okay, hey, I was hurt by this, so what does that mean? What does that say about me? And also, like, just reading the Secret. For me, like, I read The Secret. The Secret was the book that actually pushed me to be more positive and to just see the light at the end of the tunnel, as we say. Once I started reading that, it started to set my day to the positivity mindset and not just like the default where you wake up, you see the weather, you check your forecast. Oh my god, it's raining. Like, god, it's gonna be a terrible day. Now, you already made an intention that it's gonna be a terrible day, so what do you expect? And I believe this thing that the universe is just a mirror of what we decide to be. And if we decide to be good, we receive good. If we decide to be bad and sad, we receive just that exactly. So once I started obviously watching myself, checking on, like doing these checkups every time. So if I'm feeling agitated, if I'm feeling like, okay, what's happening here? So let's address this. What is going on? What was I annoyed by what that person did? Because sometimes you don't really know why you have those mood swings. They just happen. You might be just having the best time, and then bam, a mood swing. And you will find out that those mood swings actually come from unaddressed actions in the past that you haven't addressed, and they keep chasing you. Actually, there's something called the subconscious mind, and your subconscious is like a hard drive that keeps on taking everything that's been done and said to you, especially things that hurt. Because your subconscious, of course, wants to take good care of you. It doesn't want you to get hurt again, so whenever you're hurt in the past, your subconscious just registers that into the hard drive system. And the older the memories, the more engraved they are, the more deep wired they are, and it becomes a little bit harder to remove them, but it's not impossible. Nothing is impossible. When you decide it's all workable, you will get through it. So this hard drive keeps registering those informations and enters them. So whenever you have something that looks like the situation you've been through, so let's say, for example, you were betrayed by a friend. So whenever the friendship element's gonna come out again in your life, you're just gonna think, whoa, 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 hold on, something wrong is gonna happen soon. Of course, you're not thinking this mentally, but your subconscious is thinking this, but you are going around with your life not knowing about this. It's under the surface again. But if you keep watching the pattern of your life and how your relationships have been going in the past, you're just going to notice that there's some kind of pattern, like there's some kind of mistrust, or is there some kind of betrayal that you've been subject to, and then nothing works with people around you, or like love life is so hard for you to have, or there's or money issues. It is so important to have this mindset of change, this mindset of I am ready to put in the work to find out whatever this is. I am willing to devote my time, my effort, and everything that I have in order for me to get to know what is this belief system that I have. Because just knowing that the belief system you have is the thing that's causing everything in your life is crazy. The first time I knew that I had this thing about loneliness. So I'm usually not so sociable sometimes with people. I'm not anymore, but I used to be not so sociable. I used to, not have these relationships. I didn't have friends for a long time. And then it turns out it's because of a belief system that I was thinking that I was lonely all the time. A belief system that was engraved in me since I was a young girl. And I didn't feel that I was accepted. So I just felt like I didn't belong. And by feeling that way, I was in my mind, I guess I'm never gonna have a family, or I guess I'll live alone forever. And then these ideas start to creep in and to be part of my existence. But until I addressed that fact that there was a pattern, and all of these years, all the friends that I've had and I didn't maintain connection with, and all of these things that happened, and feeling of betrayal from friends and family, because they don't ask or they don't check on me or whatever. It was all because I was oversensitive to that, because I always saw myself as the lonely person. I've been victimizing myself by myself with that argument that I am lonely, that I'm too special and too hard for someone to crack, like I was like some kind of a really tough puzzle to undo for others. And so I considered myself to be like in the lonely spectrum of things. So I will never, for example, have a relationship that will last forever, or have a husband, a spouse to be with and stuff like that. So once you get to know these belief systems that are being engraved in your life, and things that you say to yourself, the narrative, what is the story that you tell yourself? Who is you? When you look yourself in the mirror, who is you? What do you say about yourself? What's your story? What's the narrative you say to yourself in the mirror? That is all important. That is so important, because sometimes we keep saying things, and by repetition, by the power of words, by the power of the universe and power of attraction, everything comes back into our lives, into existence, just because we say it enough, so that we believe it, so that it becomes engraved in those deep systems. Which, it's just amazing to, tap into this and to address it with yourself. So as these first steps, and I'm gonna end up here because otherwise this episode will be very long, and there's so much more that we can talk about in the next episodes. These are the two first steps that I think helped me, and I hope they help you too. So first of all, take responsibility. Second, watch the patterns, because that is important. Thank you so much for being here. It was a lovely, lovely time just talking about myself. I hope next time there will be a lot of people interacting with me, so that I can just interact with you as well, and we can discuss things together. You can also raise topics and things in the next episodes, so that I can discuss with you, and maybe, there will be really nice things to come. Thank you so much. This was Usthelight. See you in the next one.